I'm Ashaff. I work as a senior product manager for the payroll product at Bayzat, LLC in the UAE. So let's start off with the personas that we address as of today, right? So those would be HR and finance administrators of companies with more than 20 employees and employees of said companies. And building on that, regionally, we target UAE and KSA, but we do have plans to expand to multiple other GCC countries in the region. And what we are solving for. So we're in the business of taking the pain away from HR and finance administrators on their day-to-day tasks. So categorically, we automate business processes and make them much leaner. We also help employees be able to keep track of their benefits and get most out of said benefits that they have access to. We make sure that our solutioning is much better in terms of not just use cases that we want customers to or jobs to be done. Say it's not just around completing the jobs to be done by from a customer's perspective, but the overall way of getting that job done. How fast can we do it? How easily can we do it? How simplified is it going to be? So all that comes into play. And that's how we are superior to our competition. And we also have a stringent and robust discovery process where we involve not just product people like me, but we get tech, design, CS, sales, everyone involved when it comes to solutioning. So my responsibility as a senior product manager for my team revolves mainly around achieving business objectives that we set for ourselves and leveraging the product to do so. So the goal that we set for 2022 and early 2023 is around achieving product market fit and increasing customer satisfaction for the product that we build out on payroll. So we do have a main payroll module, but within that we have multiple other sub-modules. So we're increasing product market fit for UAE, but primarily focused on in the KSA market, of course, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which we very recently got into. We entered the market around end of 2021. That was even before I joined the company. What happened was early in 2022, we pivoted towards catering larger companies. And by large companies, the definition is companies with employee counts between 1,000 to several, to 100 to several thousands, right? So in that range, because we earlier had a lot of companies, I mean, we still do cater to companies with less than 100 employees, depending on the opportunity. But strategically, we pivoted towards higher value customers. So when we pivoted towards them, we started getting immediate feedback from the sales team as well as the customer success team, right? The feedback was generally around, whether we were product market fit to immediately switch over to sell towards these customers. And one of the recurring themes again that was that with larger companies, automation, making processes much very streamlined were recurring themes. And in those recurring themes, one item was having accounting integrations. Now, I think something that happens in the UAE and the KSA, and I believe with enterprise, or that happens with enterprise customers, is that when they check for vendors, there's a checklist. And if you don't have certain capabilities, you don't even get a meeting with them, which will help you proceed to the later stages in your sales funnel, right? So account integrations was one of those blockers for us, right? And we also saw the value in it because in our research, even before we selected account integrations, we kept on doing research into customer requirements, right? Whether it came from sales, CS. We personally interviewed a lot of customers, and we noticed that customers spend anywhere between 1 to 2 weeks to prepare QuickBooks for accounting, for just on their payroll data, and this is without anything else. So we thought of, okay, if it takes you 1 to 2 weeks, that's a lot of effort, money spent on payroll data. So why don't we figure out a way where we can automate all of that and push it to the right journals, right? And then that aligned with what we were getting from sales feedback, from CS feedback as well. In addition to that, we want to make the product a lot more sticky, because the part where accountants and finance people could interact with Bayzat payroll was limited. So it's up to the point where you could close payroll, get your downloadable file, which you upload to the bank, and it just disperses the funds, right? But beyond that, we didn't have anything yet built out. So account integration was a welcome step to facilitate use cases that were after processing payroll. What do companies do? And we wanted to try the waters with that as well. And that's how we picked accounting integrations as a roadmap item. So after we decided to build out accounting integrations, we figured out there were two core approaches to this. The first was build native integrations with each platform. And the second was integrate with an aggregator platform. Now, we did our study with the internal tech teams, and because GTM was a crucial factor, because after we entered the KSA market, and we obviously didn't have accounting integrations, we figured out that our competition already had it. So that was also one of the reasons why down the checklist it was compulsory item. So we wanted to get into feature parity with competition as well at the same time, much faster. So we didn't have a lot of time to build out individual integrations with individual platforms. So what we did was, okay, we figured out what our use cases were. They were pretty straightforward. Credit and debit entries into journal accounts on multiple platforms. While we were doing the research on aggregators, we came across multiple options. So Codat was one of them, Merge was one of them. There were a few others that don't come to my mind, but we had between 3 to 4 options. And why we picked Codat was because Codat was the only accounting aggregator towards, and this happened towards 2022 August. That's when we picked Codat as a vendor. I still remember that conversation. Codat was the only aggregator at that point in time that allowed push entries into journals. No one else had it. Everyone else just had read capabilities. So basically, you just hit an endpoint, you read the account, you get what's there on it, and that's it. You couldn't go beyond that. Any manipulation that you want done on the accounting platform is not possible, right? And it's just part of the problem, right? I mean, what good is just reading going to do? It's the whole process is writing those, preparing the journal line items and writing them onto the platform. So we wanted something that would not just read, but actually reduce that 1 to 2 week period to just a couple of hours, right? So it's been a positive experience overall from initially talking to the sales team and Codat, contract, all of that. Implementation was a breeze. Obviously, we had Tom and Josh helping us out through and through. So for our engineering team, that was quite easy to work with, and implementation was actually a breeze. When we started working on it, we were able to deliver everything in a period of 2 to 3 months maximum. And this included integrations on Xero, QuickBooks, NetSuite, and MS Dynamics. And then making sure that we also deliver the nuances between each of those as well, right? So implementation wise was a breeze. In terms of business, let's talk about that. We were able to have a lot more conversations with customers who wouldn't proceed beyond the checklist point, right? So this was similar to opportunities in KSA, in UAE, and sometimes even opportunities in Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and even Egypt. From sales perspective, we were able to proceed beyond an opportunity stage into later phases of a sales conversation. That's one. For existing customers, the impact has been phenomenal, where existing customers have been able to get more value out of the payroll product, where they were already on payroll, so they did have to do the manual entries on their accounting systems, whichever that they use, whether it be Zero, QuickBooks, or whatever it may be. And it just cut down on so much of time for them. So setting, initiating the connection, mapping the data that they wanted to synchronize with, writing the entries, all of that was made really easy. And they saw a lot of value from the integration. Positive impacts from product development to sales to customer success overall. Okay, so we have been able to win over larger companies because of accounting integrations. Um, we've had several of them stuck in the pipeline where they weren't willing to proceed beyond demo meeting because of not having. And the moment we demoed them account integrations and how it works, they immediately proceeded to sign up with us. So that happened for a couple of customers on NetSuite, a couple of customers on Zero and QuickBooks as well. Real example. We focus on delivering value to customers so that A, they get acquired, B, they stay with us for a longer period of time. For us, in order for us to do that, accounting integrations was a must-have, right? So we did deliver it, but that also made us come on par with accounting solutions that our competitors also had at the time. I would say for primary focus for SaaS products that are payroll products in the region, they are heavily focused on integrations, right? These integrations could range from integrating with banks to automate processing salaries. These could be integrations with government bodies. For example, in KSA, you need to have certain government integrations, and we can only see those integrations increasing as time progresses. In addition to that, the ecosystem is also expanding. So you could have fintech companies integrating with you. We're seeing multiple companies doing the same thing. So not just banks, but with fintech companies as well. So it could be pay now, buy later, sorry, buy now, pay later. It could be micro loans. It could be other fintech products. The playing field is expanding. It's um, it's like I said, it's no longer catch up. It's expanding to deliver more value, and people who deliver the most amount of value will emerge winners.